The officer taps your license against his palm twice before he says anything. "Sit tight for me." He walks back to his cruiser slower than he needs to. Through your side mirror, you watch him talk into his radio for 11 seconds, then wait. A second cruiser pulls in behind the first, lights off. Then a third. Nobody's rushed. Nobody's drawn a weapon. That's almost worse. You haven't used your real name for a routine anything in 3 years. You forgot that a tail light doesn't care who you're pretending to be. The first officer walks back, and this time he's not holding your license. He's holding his hand out toward your door handle. You don't know yet exactly what tips the system. You will in about 90 seconds. But first, go back 3 years to a barracks room at 4:40 in the morning and the decision that started all of this. Level 1, the morning you didn't report. 3 years earlier, you're lying on a rack you've slept in for 14 months, staring at a bunk frame you could draw from memory, and you already know you're not going to formation. Not today, not tomorrow. You've known for about 2 weeks, ever since the deployment orders got posted and your name was on them. You tell yourself this is temporary, a few days to think. You leave your phone charger, your PT belt, half your uniforms, small things, the kind of things a guy planning to come back would leave behind, which is exactly the story you're telling yourself. You take your civilian ID, your car, and a bag you packed 2 nights ago and hid in the trunk so your roommate wouldn't ask. At 0600, your bunk is empty and nobody notices yet. Formation isn't until 0630. That's the part nobody explains to you beforehand. The silence. No sirens, no phone call, no knock. Just an empty space in a formation line where your name gets called and nothing answers back. Level 2. The first 72 hours. For the first day, you're just unaccounted for. Your squad leader calls your cell twice. It rings out both times. Your roommate tells the platoon sergeant you seemed fine yesterday. Maybe a little quiet. Nobody's alarmed yet. People miss formation for stupid reasons all the time. A flat tire, a family emergency nobody called in. By hour 24, your unit has to start documenting it formally. A report gets opened. Your chain of command starts making calls. Your emergency contact, your last known address, anyone in your file who might know where you are. Your mother gets a call from a number with an area code she doesn't recognize. A sergeant she's never met asks very politely if she's heard from you. She hasn't. She calls you 4 times that night. You watch her name light up your screen and let it go dark again, telling yourself you'll explain everything once you've figured out what everything even means. You still believe at this point that this is a problem you can undo. You're wrong about the timeline, but not yet about the size of it. Right now, this is still just absence. The word that changes everything hasn't been used yet.
Level 3, Day 30, dropped from roles. For 4 weeks, you're technically still a soldier who isn't where he's supposed to be. That status has a shelf life, and you're about to hit the wall of it. Under military regulation, once an absence reaches 30 consecutive days, the presumption shifts. The absence is now treated as desertion under Article 85 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, not because anyone has proven what you intended, but because the length of the absence alone triggers the process. Your unit fills out a DD-553, a deserter report, and sends it up the chain. You are formally dropped from the rolls. You stop being a soldier who's late. You become a fugitive the system is required to look for. That report doesn't disappear into a drawer. Your description, photograph, and last known information get entered into the National Crime Information Center, the same database state troopers, county sheriffs, and border agents check every single day, for reasons that have nothing to do with you. You don't feel any of this happen. You're 3 states away, staying with a cousin, telling people you got out early. The paperwork that will eventually end this whole thing gets filed on a Tuesday you don't remember by a clerk you'll never meet. Level 4. The file opens. Your case doesn't go to the police first. It goes to your service's own investigators. Army CID if that's your branch, NCIS for Navy and Marines, OSI for the Air and Space Forces, CGIS for the Coast Guard. Every branch keeps its own team built specifically for absentees and deserters, and some installations run dedicated deserter apprehension units whose entire job is finding people exactly like you. An investigator opens a folder that starts filling with the unglamorous pieces of your old life. Your last duty station, your listed emergency contacts, vehicles registered in your name, your mother's address still current, your cousin's address only slightly less current. Nothing in the file is dramatic on its own, a name here, a phone number there. But it's not built to guess where you are from nothing, it's built to slowly cross out the places you aren't. Your cousin, the one you're actually staying with, gets a knock on his door that isn't from anyone dangerous, just two investigators asking routine questions, the kind he doesn't think twice about answering honestly because, as far as he's concerned, you haven't done anything to him. He tells you about it that night, half laughing like it was nothing. You don't laugh.
Level 5. Building a life on borrowed time. You move again. New city, a job that pays cash under the table, a name people just assume is your legal one because nobody's checking. For a while, it works, in the specific way that not being caught yet always feels like winning. You meet Marcus at that job, a guy who covers your shifts when you say you're dealing with family stuff, who never asks the follow-up question you're afraid of. You start actually trusting him, in the small ways that build without you noticing. He knows your real first name. He knows roughly what state you're from. He doesn't know the word desertion is anywhere near your file. And you've decided that's a detail he doesn't need. Here's what you don't fully understand yet. NCIC isn't a database somebody has to think to check. It's the database that gets checked automatically. Every time an officer runs a license, every background check for certain jobs, every gun purchase, every arrest for something completely unrelated to you. You've been treating distance like the same thing as invisibility. It isn't. It's just an extra step between you and the exact same system. Level 6. The pull that wasn't about you. 14 months into your new life, a car 2 lanes over runs a red light and clips your bumper at a stoplight. Not your fault. You still have to give a name, an insurance card, a license to the officer who shows up to write it up. He runs your name the way he'd run anyone's. Routine, procedural, nothing personal. For most people, that check comes back clean in under a minute. For you, it doesn't. The system flags a federal desertion entry attached to your name. The officer's radio gets quieter than usual for a second, and you notice it before you understand why. He doesn't say much. He asks you to wait in your car. You watch him make a call you can't hear from where you're sitting. And for the first time in 14 months, the ordinary feeling of a Tuesday afternoon fender bender turns into something with a different weight to it. Nothing happens that day. He can't personally arrest you on a military hold with no federal or state marshal present to execute it cleanly. Jurisdiction gets complicated fast. But your real name, your real face, and your real location just got logged in a system that talks to every other system like it. The circle you thought was still enormous just got a pin dropped in the middle of it. Level 7. Marcus. A week later, 2 investigators show up at the job. Not for you, you're not scheduled that day. For Marcus. They ask when he last saw you, what name he knows you by, whether you ever mentioned another city, another name, family somewhere. He doesn't know he's protecting anything by staying vague, because he genuinely doesn't know much. But the little he does know, your real first name, the fact that you mentioned getting out early, a rough idea of where you grew up, that's not nothing anymore. That's confirmation stacked on top of a location a traffic officer already logged a week earlier. He calls you that night, shaken, asking what that was actually about. You tell him it's a misunderstanding from your old job. He believes you mostly because he wants to. You don't sleep that night. For the first time, you understand that the version of your life you built here was never actually separate from the one you left. It was just quieter. Which brings you back to the beginning. A cruiser behind you. A taillight that's been out for 2 days you kept meaning to fix. The officer runs your license out of pure routine. By now, the hit isn't a mystery entry buried in a database. It's a flagged federal case with your photograph, your real name, and a note that you were last confirmed in this exact metro area within the past 2 weeks. He's not guessing.
He's confirming.
You open your car door already understanding in the half second before he says your actual name instead of the one on your fake insurance card, that the running part of this ended before the arrested. There's no chase. There's a form, a phone call to your service's investigative unit, and eventually a set of orders returning you to military control. Depending on how the absence is characterized and how it ends, you're now looking at consequences under Article 85. Desertion terminated by apprehension carries a heavier maximum than the same absence ending in a voluntary surrender would have. That distinction, one you didn't think about once in 3 years, ends up mattering more than almost anything else in your file. Your mother finds out the same day it happens, from a phone call she's been dreading since the first night she couldn't reach you. Marcus finds out from a headline he doesn't expect to see your face in. Nationally, this isn't rare. Absentees get located through exactly this kind of ordinary contact: a traffic stop, a background check, a routine encounter that has nothing to do with anyone hunting you personally. Most deserters aren't found by a dedicated manhunt. They're found because the world runs background checks constantly, and eventually, one of them runs into you. You didn't lose to a task force kicking down a door. You lost to a taillight, a fender bender, and the friend who answered 2 honest questions. The system didn't need to chase you. It only needed you to exist in it again, even once. If you want to see how the rest of the file gets built before it ever reaches your door, subscribe. The next case opens soon.